you're in the field and you're part of the group. So I'd like to welcome you all into this group field on this beautiful eclipse full moon. And what a powerful moment it is to come together as a group, as we're working on our own shadow and our own light, accepting our own light aspect. Sometimes the light aspect can be the main thing that we don't want to embrace or we're afraid of. And just looking here, we have a beautiful group from all over the world, many different countries and nationalities. And it really helps me, reflect on my own travels when I first started to do this work and how I would be impacted by each system I would travel to. So each land, each city has a soul and a consciousness and a shadow as well. So I remember every city I would go into, I would have to welcome or ask permission to enter that system, and also ask, can I bring my gifts to that system? So I'd have to sit in meditation and work it really in my system before I could work with a group, because I realized that my system was adjusting to the group consciousness and also the trauma information in each city. And each city, of course, opened up different trauma in me and different aspects of me. So each one of us are all in different countries, cities, towns, with different history of the land. And also it depends on the soil. If there's crystals, if there's sand, is there granite, what is the land? Is there ley lines there as well? So this is all affecting us emotionally and supporting us as well. So I want to honor you all for being part of this webinar and coming together at this really unique time, and to honor as well that the collective trauma and the collective shadow, and also fear of embracing one's light and potential, is very much active in the field of the world at the moment. And by us working on ourselves and integrating our own shadow and accepting our own light and fears of acceptance of our light, it's going to have an impact on ourselves, our lives, and the world around us. So I want to thank you all for being part of the group. And the more the container gets more people in, we build it up stronger, the more profound the impact is on the field as well. So welcome everybody, and welcome anyone new who hasn't experienced the work that I do. It's really working on soul transmission on a soul level. So it's giving soul transmissions of love and holding space to frozen aspects of ourselves. It could be in the tissue, it could be in the cells, it could be in different parts of the brain, the subconsciousness, or the genetic memory field. So when I work, it's working with soul transmissions. So you may feel something, you may not. You may feel resistance, you may not. You may feel your mind racing or not. You may want to stand or move or adjust as your body is releasing genetic information or genetic imprints. So I work very much with the body, the cellular information in the body, and how the spirit is not getting into the cells or different parts of the body, because there's different modules of information there, or imprints that are in the system. So let's dive straight in, as I love to do, and let's honor everything that's open in our systems at the moment. And just take a deep breath. And honoring you are a spirit, non-physical, in a physical body. So we're much more than this physical body. We're a spirit in a physical body. Eternal spirit in this physical body. Just taking another deep breath into the cells. And honoring, I can feel the ancestral information opening immediately in the ancestral lines. Beautiful, it's up, it's open already. Wow, it's moving. So I can feel the shadow of the ancestors and the shadow of oneself. So honoring our shadow as a gift, and just staying present with what I invite you to stay present with the body the whole time, and simply, maybe even if you want to move, sometimes I can feel myself naturally moving as the energy wants to remember to move. Breathing into the body and releasing through the breath very slowly as we dive deeper into the body. Take a deep breath into your cells, honoring your cells. And then release. As we dive deeper and deeper into our own cells and our own bodies. And it started. Simply take another deep breath. Now set the intention to take a deep breath into your nervous system. And release. And we're so supported with the energy of the full moon and the eclipse that it's moving already. It's moving without us doing anything. Simply breathing into your heart space, honoring whatever wounds that are active at the moment, which belong to you, whichever is belong to somebody else, just accept that and let them just release it and just accept what's yours. And it can go back to the origin. Beautiful, it started. And now take another deep breath, but let's honor you have a pineal gland behind the third eye, center of the brain. And take a deep breath into your pineal gland. There's little crystals in the pineal gland. Activating the pineal gland even more with the breath from your heart. And then in the pineal gland, the crystals are the same crystals, the same fluid is in your spinal fluid. Taking a deep breath into the spine, the element water. Beautiful. The same spinal fluid water is in our cells and our DNA, same crystals. Once again, breathing into your DNA. Imagine these blueprints of crystals in your DNA. Which are directly connected to source in you, above you, around you. Creation. Beautiful, getting stronger. This is opening, releasing any imprints in your subconsciousness. Flow and movement. And once again, taking a deep breath into your cells and slowly releasing it through the breath. And then we have a galactic council as well, which support us. And just set an intention to breathe into your hearts and activating that channel with your new levels of consciousness, just pure love transmissions. We're all star seeds in a way, and our star seed, our soul seed, is from different planets. So just opening up that remembrance and activating that love transmissions that's in all of us. It's in coherence and balance. Breathing into your heart space as you go deeper inside on a soul level. Deep breathing deeper and deeper into your heart space. And then just honoring your own genetic place. So if your mom in the system, connected to your biological children, they're in front of you. It's very important that we always be who we are in this life system. So I'm the son of my biological mom, I'm standing in front of my mom on the left-hand side. Behind me, I'm standing in front of my father, genetic, which brings me to genetic lines. Standing in front of my biological father, he's on the right-hand side behind me. And if you don't know who your parents are, it's okay. Your soul knows. The parents who brought you up like parents are like your parents, but not your genetic parents. So for the DNA, it's very important we connect to our biological genetic parents and be whoever we are to each member of the family. So your children are the children. If you have children, your siblings are the siblings. Your partner is the partner, not your twin, not your mother, not your father. Everyone needs to be who they are, and then the system will resolve. And everyone has space in their own systems to work and transform whatever belongs to them. Beautiful. Taking another deep breath into your cells. Okay, we're going deeper now into the subconsciousness. So we'll work with whatever's in our own systems at the moment. How are you feeling with this new shift? And going deeper now to clear any habits or anxieties or fears from the system. And if you're getting headaches or anything like that, it means that there's programming being transformed, that's all. So this is working very much. Now I'm doing a webinar on the reptilian brain because I realized that, well, for different star beings, it's all different levels of consciousness, and the reptilian aspect is another level of consciousness which we need to master. So it's to master our own reptilian brain, so we don't bring up too much that aggression, survival, mind control part. So what I realized was it's opening up even more tendency to go into that fighting mode. So what I realized was just I was guided to close down the channels of the reptilian brain. So we'll do that a little bit now if you like. If you want to give permission, it will happen automatically, but just clearing so we can clear whatever's in our own system without activating more. So it's really mastering your own level of consciousness and how your consciousness is working and how you manifest. So we don't recreate the same aggressive behavior or separation or survival about physical, more the materialistic parts of the system without balance. So it's to bring balance and coherence in the way it used to be in Lemuria. So just activating these fields. So which pressure you're going to work on, just closing down a little bit the reptilian brain so you can transform what's in the system without recreating more of the same. So let's, in each generation, there's always a child who's in the system to transform the family system. That is making a clear decision. So I'm sure everybody here is one of them. So now we can transform the ancestral lines by making a clear choice as creators to master our own consciousness or how our bodies work, how the brains work, and how the reptilian brain works. Once you go into soul transmissions of love, everything is coherent. And then you don't create that frequency around us, because as spirit, we come into the physical body and then we create what's in our bodies. So if we work with mastering and clearing what's in our own systems, then we don't project that into the world to recreate it in the world. So that's why it's so important to take ownership of whatever's open in your system now, so we don't repeat history again that has not been transformed consciously. So this is the end of cycles. And then you can go into higher levels of consciousness. When you move into higher states of consciousness, there is no fighting. It is all coherent. Everything's in coherence. It's all creation. The noise stops. It's almost like turning the news or the TV off. Everything becomes still when you turn off the reptilian brain completely and just stream pure consciousness. Then you're not controllable and you're not a slave of any system or anyone. Going deeper into the system. Breathe into your hips. Beautiful. We're going deeper into the spine and the groin area as we're coming deeper and deeper into the body. And the ancestors want us to do this. They don't want to repeat of what they couldn't transform themselves, which was too traumatic at that stage. So now we have the abilities to transform it. That's why we're here. So, okay, man on this planet has not evolved like the animal kingdom, for example, or the rest of the kingdom. In a way, it's like everything else is in balance and harmony and is coherent. So they're totally present. The animals are present. You can see it with your dog or your cat. So the human aspect is not being present. Most of it's not being present. The reason being is because we took jumps in evolution. It's almost like time traveled and it creates glitches in the system. So the ego comes up, we're not being present. So we're not integrating to be fully present because we're jumping before we're ready to jump. It's almost like Lord of the Rings. I always say, can you wear the ring? Can you handle the ring? So can you handle the jump you just took? So let's set the intention that we align inner systems with whatever jumps our ancestors took, whatever jumps we have taken in this life or past life system. So let's reset our systems so they become coherent again, like the ocean, that we become one with the ocean, not hovering over the ocean, but in the ocean, flowing, which is the ocean of creation. So just harmonizing the fields with your permission and just taking a look at whatever parts is not harmonized and just bringing harmony in with love, acceptance, and integration. Then your whole being can come in and be present, completely present. And you're setting the intention at whatever parts your ancestors jumped or you jumped, like time traveling jumped, that you reintegrate and become coherent through all the timelines and systems up to now, that they're in complete coherence with your level of consciousness. You integrated your shadow, your trauma, and the ancestral into pure presence to connect with the ocean. And as this is happening, set the intention that your ancestors get the same results. It's happening in all timelines, dimensions, and planes and past lives at once. From the first footstep on this planet. It's just clearing all the mindsets. Breathing deep into your hips, yourselves. Now also then is the part, first of all, how are you feeling now with that shift? Great. One more breath. So relieved. Expanded. Feel expanded. Nice. Beautiful. So there's other aspects where we are genetically modified in a way. There's different star beings in our genetics. So as different star beings come in, they're all of different levels of consciousness. So it's very interesting. I had this vision this morning of each of the star beings, like the Pleiadians, the Venetians, all these different star beings, and they all had different levels. They were like in each chakra, and they were all representing different levels of consciousness. And it was only about becoming coherent with each level of consciousness. It's not like one was bad or wrong. It's just they weren't incoherent. So if we ignore the denser ones, then we're going to be unstable when we go to the higher levels of consciousness. So with your permission, I'm going to work with harmonizing and loving all the levels of consciousness, which is in all of us, representing each of our star nations or our genetic imprints, which are in us, in our blueprints, because we're all have genetics from all over the universe. So just simply set the intention that your whole genetics become coherent with frequencies. It's all different frequencies. It's only frequencies. See yourself like a harp or a piano, and some of them are not fine-tuned. They're not. It's like when you move a harp to a different room, you have to retune it again. So imagine that you're being retuned to creation frequency, not frozen frequencies, not trauma frequencies, but creation frequencies. And then some of those harp strings are frozen, so all they need is space, time, and love. And you just open space with your heart, and then they become alive again. And then maybe the dust comes off, the particles come off. So activating all the harp strings. So they're right through us, they're all in the etheric fields, that is the full spectrum of colors, activating them in every aspect of our being, in our cells, in our DNA. Imagine now all the harp strings are alive, vibrating with color and vibration and sound. That there's a heart resonance. It's like heart coherence is through all the strings. They're all connected to the heart and they become alive. Beautiful. And imagine in the middle of the harp, there's one string, it's very thick, it's very frozen, very dense, and that represents death, your fear of death, your fear of disease, and that's a big dense one. But then on the other side, there's loads of different finer frequencies and strands, but you got all these finer ones, and in the middle is the death one, and then you got more of them. So simply honor there's more strings on the other side of death, or this fear of death, like going back to it. So just honor, embrace everything, even the death chord, with love. And breathe into it. I love it. And then that brings in actually life. It's the opposite. It brings us to life force. And all the control goes out of the system because we're free. We're eternal beings that are pure consciousness, and this consciousness is evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving as we build our consciousness up. So we are beings of light, codes, experiences, wisdom, soul information. And that soul enters the body, and then that soul may go to another body in another life system, but it's the same soul. And it's growing and growing and growing. Eternal beings, free beings, sovereign beings. Now we're going into new levels of consciousness. Set the intention that your consciousness is going straight to creation, straight up and straight down into Mother Earth. Beautiful, you got it, I feel it. Now, this is one of the keys to accessing the universe and different levels of consciousness. So this in Earth, there's the divine intelligence around us, which is a certain level of consciousness coherent to planet Earth. Now, to connect into it, you connect to accept your pineal gland crystals, and the crystals inside you are connected to the crystals around us in Mother Earth and around us and in the ocean, the animal kingdom. So it's around us. That's the ocean. We're in this planet. And everybody has these crystals in them, so we're all interconnected. Beautiful. Sun, the earth, crystals in the earth. And everything's in flow and motion. It's like the sound of the universe is in us. Stars are in us, and the universe in us, and motion. And in each star system, there's another level of consciousness, like another ecosystem, another intelligence. I'll call it divine intelligence or source consciousness. And for example, the Pleiadian system. In the Pleiadian system, there is another level of consciousness, which is different to the consciousness here, but actually it is here. So if you set the intention, stay here from your pineal gland, connect into the crystals of the Pleiadian level of consciousness, which is another creation field. And that's a different transmission of consciousness, and that's in our DNA already. So the same crystals are connecting into the Pleiadian system, which is pure consciousness, love, light. Transmissions, code, transmissions. Are you getting the hang of it? So every universe has different levels of consciousness. So the Venetian system, for example, is pure love beings as well, pure consciousness. There are higher levels of consciousness beings. That is completely coherent. There is no fighting there. It's just pure coherence and love. And that's in us too. So it's connecting into the Venetian system as well. And there is no fighting. It's pure levels of higher levels of consciousness. So going open these systems up. And they're in our DNA, they're in our vibration, and they are us. And the Venetian system is about teaching us how to transform fears and also how to transform another field with love transmissions. So the Venetian system is about transmissions of love. So if there's a denser consciousness, you simply send it consciousness, send it consciousness, send it consciousness, send it consciousness until the system starts developing its consciousness. It's not judging, it's simply transmissions of love, holding space of love. So we send this into our own systems, or accept it in our own systems, and it activates because it's in all of us. And as we're connected to these now, maybe Series B, for example, with the dolphins, the ocean, there's another level of consciousness can open the star systems through all different portals. And this is really for heavy clearing shadow and density. So now we're asking the Series B system to support us to transform the shadow aspects and the fear of our light. We don't need to do it alone. We can ask for help. Beautiful. Now we're going to new levels of consciousness and we're embodying it. That's the difference. We're not leaving the body, we're embodying it. So that harp inside you has the Venetian frequencies in you. So it's fine-tuned to the Phoenician systems, which is pure love transmissions. And also that harp can be used for transforming denser systems by simply frequencies of love, intention. The leading system is pure consciousness of love transmissions as well. Series B is connection of transmissions of love. So all these systems are in your heart now, in your frequencies. And they're becoming coherent. And as you are in the ocean right now with the ancestors and with everybody around you, accepting this in every cell of your body, in your bone marrow, in your DNA, as you raise into new levels of consciousness. So now your brain can be reset to manage these levels of consciousness. So it's resetting the brain to manage these levels of consciousness. So you don't have to repeat the old stories again. Now we can do everything with love transmissions. But it's from the soul level. It's not mind love, it's soul love. There's a difference, big difference. Soul transmissions. That's how I work. Breathing into your cells. Now this is transforming and clearing all the old imprints. So this is perfect for the eclipse because this is about your light and by accepting your light and accepting the shadow equally. And then the light, once the light faces the shadow, it's all light. We are all light. And now this is entering inside the body, inside the cells, inside the brain, inside the genetic imprints. So imagine the sun is getting stronger. Imagine the sun is in every cell and in all your DNA, and now it's active with all the Pleiadian light, Sirian B light, love transmissions, Venetian systems, all light, all love, soul love, activation. New levels of consciousness. Now we're moving into super consciousness, where everything is possible. We are creators. As a creator, everything is possible. So now you can accept more of your soul in your body, in your nervous system, in your cells. And all your light codes can come down, even your light language, someone with so many of you. New levels of consciousness. And coherence in the body, in the cells, mind, body, spirit. And mastering your new level of consciousness. I'll go more into that on Sunday, just fine tuning it and teaching you more. Breathing into your cells. Now all the light codes are completely active in you and flowing, flowing, flowing. And the full color spectrum is active cellularly in you. This is working very deeply in the brain, denser rooms of consciousness. So we have these little bubbles in the brain where we protect ourselves from different experiences we have in our childhood. So let's clear these bubbles. Let's open up the system and transform and bring all the soul fragments back and pure consciousness back. Everything possible. And as each of these bubbles clear in the subconsciousness, more consciousness will come in. It's almost like some of you, some part of you was asleep or absent. So now that part of you can come home into this physical body, into the brain, into your soul can come down into the cells completely from all time, lands, dimensions, and planes. Taking a deep breath into your new cells. Giving space. As your spirit's in your cells, take a deep breath into your new nervous system. As you turn on, your spirit enters your full nervous system. Very strong, I feel it. Carry in. Accepting your spine, new spine. Set the intention that all of your soul comes into your body right now, into your organs, into your sinuses, into the roots of your teeth. And new aspects of your soul, which maybe was not fully active in this life system, can come in from your different star systems, and activating your new level of consciousness is in, and really accepting it. Each one of us have unique soul gifts, and that can be not conscious. It can be transmissions, pure transmissions. Some of us here are streaming down light codes, which activate in us and then activates new aspects of our qualities. And then other times we stream gifts to our vibration to other people that it's not for us, but we're to pass it on to somebody else, and that activates them, or maybe they passed on somebody else and it activates them. So, or that's what energy is for when it comes from source, from creation, it's to pass it on. Beautiful. So let's integrate the shift we made. I always do the directions because we're an energetic being, like a tuning fork, and we need to always balance the directions. I always find that the integration is much more integrated by balancing the directions, okay? So invite your whole spirit into your body, into your bones, into your bone marrow. Breathing into your cells, breathing into your organs. Beautiful. And accepting your spirit has entered fully your spine, your nervous system, in a brand new way. Spirit's in front of you in a brand new way. Spirit's on your left side in a new way, your right side in a new way, front in a new way, back in a new way, above in the new way, below in the new way. Breathing into a new space in the cells. Release through the mouth slowly. Your new left side supports your new right side. Your new right side supports your new left side. Changed. I accept the change. Your new front supports your new back. I accept the change. Your new back supports your front. I accept the change. Above supports below in the new way. I accept the change. Below supports above in the new way. I accept the change. Breathing into a new vibration. Your consciousness is direct with creation, source. You have direct connection with, for example, the Pleiadian star system, Venetian star system, Sirius B star systems, wherever you feel your connection is. And the connection is through your DNA, the crystals in your DNA, the crystals in your pineal gland, the crystals in your spinal fluid. And that's how you bring that level of consciousness to Earth. So now we brought this new level of consciousness in. Let's consciously just imagine yourself like a lighthouse and share this back to our parents and our ancestors as their system receives all these gifts till the beginning of time. And then when it comes to the beginning of time, they share their new gifts with us all the way up through the ancestral lines, which then goes out to our siblings, our children, future children, and to the collective. Now we're sending it out to the collective field. Beautiful. So now we're on a new level of consciousness. Imagine that you were born with this new level of consciousness, because now you're vibrating on a new frequency. So imagine you were conceived with this level of frequency and vibration, and you lived your whole life like this. And new energy of you is coming up through the timeline and becoming coherent with you in this time and space. So it's like your life plan was slightly off that way. And now with this new level of consciousness, now creation can align you with your new level of creation. That imagine you were born like this. And now imagine that your parents, your mom and dad, were born with this level of consciousness, how they would be, how much they went off track, which wasn't really off track, but how they can bring their alignment back into their system because now they have this level of consciousness. So their whole life plan can be aligned. And then they pass that back to the next generation. And then they're aligned back on pure consciousness. And this keeps working through the ancestral system. And then the results are passed up through the ancestral line to each one, and then to you, and then to your children, how they'll be aligned or are aligned, and then out to your siblings. Can you imagine how this level of consciousness going to every single person on this planet, and their system, if they're open to it, can be aligned to? Also the souls of each city, country, star system. And that's why we're here. We're here as different star beings with different frequencies. And our job was to learn how to live together and be coherent together. So let's share this gift of consciousness with everybody on this planet and in the universe. So everybody can be aligned with pure consciousness. And now that you're working with the collective field, so your channel gets bigger because now you're working in a different system now, and now you're in service. So if you agree to go in service, now your channel will stream through even more consciousness for bringing coherence into the system. As each one of us is bringing down new levels of consciousness and sharing it with everybody on this planet and the whole universe in our own unique way, flowing, flowing, flowing. Breathing deep into your heart space as this new level of consciousness and shift is integrating now in your system, because you've just completely changed on every level. And taking a deep breath once again into your new system. Set the intention again to honor your soul in every cell in your body in a brand new way, because you are pure creation, pure love now. Your spirit is supporting your back in a new way, your front in a new way, your left side in a new way, your right side in a new way, your roots in a new way, your channel in a new way. Your left side flows with the right side in a brand new way because you completely changed. Right side flows and transforms the left side in a brand new way. You've completely changed. Accepting this beautiful shift, gratitude. Front flows with the back in a new way. What a beautiful gift from the ancestors and from all of creation. and our star systems. Back supports the front in a new way. Above supports below in a new way. All the light of creation streaming through my system to Earth. The love from Mother Earth flows up through me up to Source. Creation is flowing from my heart, and I'm in this ocean of creation. Honoring I'm a creator on this planet at the moment. Breathing into your new heart space. Thank you to the ancestors, honoring all our experiences, all our teachers of life in every lifetime for getting us here. And what a gift the eclipse and the full moon has been. And what a gift all of us are in the system and coming together as this beautiful group. And then you're simply sharing the frequencies and transformation we just did with everybody and the whole planet. I feel the shift. So beautiful that we all came together to do this. And this is supporting the timelines to become stronger, that things can be easier and transformation can be easier on this planet, because the tree, the timelines like it is like a tree. We're all going to Source, we are all creation, but sometimes we make choices which are not coherent. And then as we work on changing that coherence, changing those old patterns, the branch collapses into the main stem of the tree, and then we move up in consciousness. So the work we're doing when we come together as a group is resetting new consciousness and opening up a more secure, more coherent timeline. So the more of us do this, the stronger it's going to get. So I invite you to share this with as many as you want. And just if they didn't miss it, they can watch it at any stage. You can watch it as many times as you want, and it will keep getting stronger in you. And then the timelines of peacefulness, love, coherence will open up even further in you and then around you, because you are a creator, a manifester. So I want to thank you all. I'm going very deep in on Sunday to really master how to turn on and turn off the reptilian brain, because I feel that's really important to master. So we create from pure creation. So if you feel drawn to go further with this work, to go deeper with it, and to master how your body works, how the system works, I'll be working and teaching how to do that on Sunday. It's the first one, and then we'll do another one in a week. So thank you all for being part of this webinar. And yeah, so you can feel how creation feels inside, so we can manifest. So if anything comes up in the next days, simply accept it as part of the transformation. It's a gift, transform it. What's yours? When it's transformed, then the result goes into you and it goes out to the field. Thank you everyone for all the support, and thank you Sergio for all the support in the background. And yeah, thank you everyone for all the support over the years. And in each city I worked, each country I worked, thank you all for supporting me, because each one of you got me here and supported me to do this work. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Karen. And thank you everyone in the background who's helped me, and all the groups who helped me in the background. With so many people over the years who helped me to embody the work that I'm doing, which was much more, there's many people who've been in the background supporting me over the years. And I want to honor each one of them and thank them all, because we did this together, and it's about uniting now and supporting each other and creating community. So have a beautiful, beautiful well, experience, new experience of being more conscious of how your system works and how we're all creating on this planet. Thank you. Have a beautiful full moon and eclipse. Thank you, everyone. The recording, if this is recorded, you can watch it again on YouTube. Thank you. Or you can share it there as well. Have a beautiful evening.